Ever heard of a cat who ruled the waves on the most powerful warship of its time? No, this isn't a fairy tale. This is the incredible true story of Togo, the furry, four-legged king of the battleship HMS Dreadnought. Let's set the scene. It's the early 1900s. The world is a chessboard of empires, and the seas are the ultimate prize. Britain, the reigning naval superpower, is about to unveil a weapon so revolutionary it will make every other battleship on the planet obsolete overnight. This steel leviathan is HMS Dreadnought. Faster, more powerful, and more heavily armed than anything that came before it, Dreadnought wasn't just a ship, it was a statement. It kicked off a naval arms race that would shape the course of the 20th century. But amidst all this high-stakes naval strategy and cutting-edge engineering, a small, furry creature was about to become the heart and soul of this mighty vessel. That creature was a Persian cat named Togo. Now, you might be thinking, a cat on a warship? But ship's cats were a long-standing tradition in the Royal Navy, and for good reason. They weren't just there for cuddles. They were hard-working members of the crew, tasked with the vital job of pest control. On a wooden ship, rats and mice could chew through ropes, gnaw into food supplies, and even spread disease. A good cat was worth its weight in gold. Even on a modern steel ship like Dreadnought, the problem persisted. So, when the ship was commissioned in 1906, it was only natural that it would have a feline guardian. But Togo wasn't just any cat. He was a purebred Persian, a ball of fluff with an attitude befitting his majestic surroundings. How he came to be aboard is a bit of a legend. Some say he was a gift to the first captain, Sir Reginald Bacon. Others believe he was brought aboard by an officer who thought the revolutionary ship deserved a revolutionary and rather posh mascot. Whatever his origin, Togo quickly made himself at home. Imagine this magnificent cat, with his long, flowing fur, gracefully navigating the steel decks of the most advanced warship in the world. He wasn't confined to the lower decks, oh no. Togo had the run of the ship. He'd be seen lounging in the sun on the quarterdeck, perched regally on the breech of one of the massive 12-inch guns, or even napping in the captain's own sea cabin. He became a familiar, comforting sight for the hundreds of sailors living in the belly of this steel beast. Life at sea was tough. The work was hard, the discipline was strict, and the quarters were cramped. But Togo brought a touch of home, a moment of softness in a world of hard steel and roaring machinery. Sailors would seek him out for a quick pat or a gentle scratch behind the ears. He was a living, breathing stress reliever. He had his favorite spots and his favorite people, and he knew exactly how to charm a piece of fish from the galley cooks. One of the most famous stories about Togo involves his personal hammock. Yes, you heard that right. The crew, completely smitten with their feline officer, fashioned a miniature sailor's hammock for him. They would string it up in their mess deck, and Togo would reportedly climb in and gently sway with the motion of the ship, just like any other seasoned sailor. It's an adorable image, isn't it? This little ball of fur, snoozing peacefully in his own hammock, surrounded by the men who served aboard the world's most feared warship. Togo's presence was so integral to the ship's identity that he even became part of official ceremonies. When high-ranking visitors or foreign dignitaries came aboard to inspect the marvel that was Dreadnought, Togo would often be there, a fluffy, unofficial member of the welcoming committee. You can almost picture it. Admirals and politicians stepping aboard, greeted by the ship's officers, and a very self-important Persian cat who probably thought the whole procession was in his honor. He even had a special relationship with the ship's official mascot, a parrot. Now, a cat and a parrot on the same ship sounds like a recipe for disaster, but by all accounts they maintained a respectful, if slightly wary, truce. They were the king and queen of the ship's animal kingdom. Togo's reign aboard Dreadnought coincided with a period of tense peace, the run-up to the First World War. The ship he called home was the symbol of British naval might, a deterrent designed to keep the peace through strength. And in his own small way, Togo contributed to that mission. A happy, high-morale crew is an efficient crew, and Togo was a master morale officer. He reminded these men of the simple joys of life, even as they sailed on a vessel built for destruction. When the Great War finally broke out in 1914, Dreadnought and her crew were ready. While the ship famously missed the Battle of Jutland because it was being refitted, it did have one major claim to fame during the war. On March 18, 1915, HMS Dreadnought became the only battleship in history to sink a submarine by ramming it. It's a dramatic, incredible moment in naval history. And we have to wonder, where was Togo during all this? Was he curled up in the chart house, blissfully unaware of the chaos? Or was he on deck, fur bristling, sensing the tension and the thrill of the chase? It's fun to imagine him being part of that historic moment. Sadly, like all good things, Togo's time at sea had to come to an end. Cats, even magnificent Persian ones, don't live forever. The exact date of his passing is lost to history, but his memory lived on. He wasn't just a pet, he was a symbol. He represented the human side of naval warfare, the small comforts and camaraderie that make life bearable under the most extreme conditions. The story of Togo and HMS Dreadnought is more than just a cute animal anecdote. It's a snapshot of a bygone era. It reminds us that even within the most formidable machines of war, there is always room for a little bit of humanity, and sometimes that humanity comes in the form of a very fluffy, very proud Persian cat. Togo was a legend, a true sailor who served his country in his own unique way, one purr at a time. He truly was the king of the castle, a steel castle that ruled the waves. Thanks for joining me on this journey back in time to meet the incredible cat of HMS Dreadnought. If you enjoyed this story, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next deep dive into the fascinating footnotes of history. See you next time.